This week on Real Bites Australia, we're chasing the mighty flathead, Australia's favourite fish. I'm going to show you how to catch it, fillet it, and cook a simple dish you'll absolutely love. I'm Paul Breheny and welcome to Real Bites Australia. After days of heavy rain, Noosa has come alive. The rivers are full, the creeks are flowing, and the fish, well, they're on the tube. Yeah, the way he's pulling his head, shaking his head, it feels like a flathead. Oh, good flathead too. Real good flathead. Flaring his gills, all right. Beautiful flathead. I swallowed that right down. Oh yeah, nice. Now that's a flathead. And he spat the hook now. How good's that? Well, that's a beautiful flathead. Have a go at that guy. Beautiful. I don't know. I'm just gonna measure it now. I think I'll be putting him back, mate. Thanks, Mark. Hey, I didn't use bait.
Yeah, I know. You did, you kept it small.
So there we go, guys. That's a 60 centimetre flatty. Now, normally anything over 60 I put back, and I haven't caught a fish all day, apart from a few small fish. So this guy's going to come home, otherwise my wife will have my guts for garters. Anything below 60 I keep, 60 and below. And this is dead on 60 centimetres, which is a good fish. All right, so I'll dispatch of this guy and we'll get him in the esky and get him on the ice. My wife will speak to me tonight. Beautiful part of the world, guys. Get over here. Come over to Australia, come up here to southeast Queensland and come and visit Noosa and the Sunshine Coast. What a beautiful place. Even though we've got miserable weather today, it's still very humid, nice and warm for an afternoon paddle. These guys are having a ball. Before we carry on fishing, let me just go through a little bit of the gear that I'm using today. I'm going to give you a few little tips on and go through the gear that I'm using. I don't want to start getting too detailed. It's a very simple way to fish. Trawling trawling with hard bodies. Okay, so if you're not too sure what hard bodies to use, if you go down your local tackle shop, you can go in there and ask them exactly what sort of lures will attract flathead. This one here is a perfect bait size imitation. The hooks here, I've changed them now. This is probably, I'm going to be changing them before we go out today. I think I've changed them 4 times on this lure. Pink lure are really, really good for flathead, especially in dirty water, I've found. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to be using today, but I've got to change these hooks. They've absolutely been smashed by all sorts of fish, but they're really, really good for flathead. It'll dive down to around about 2.5 meters, and that's the type of lure that you're looking for. And you want one that'll just dig in, just keep digging into the sand like this and not getting caught up, and this is a perfect lure for floating back up. If it gets caught on anything or goes underneath a log, it tends to come back up, which is fantastic. It doesn't get hung up too much. But yeah, just speak to you guys down at all your local tackle stores. They'll you'll put you in the right direction. Okay, I'm just using a 1 to 3 kilo rod with a 2,500 reel. Okay, my rods, I like them around about 7 foot, but you know, leaving a little bit short is fine. Now, the main thing you've got to think about is when you're fishing for flathead is they do have really rough gills. So what I like to do is put a 12-pound leader on there. That's as heavy as I normally go in the river, unless I'm fishing for, you know, things like mangrove jacks, where obviously they're in the mangroves and you've really got to pull the fish out. So I'll go a lot heavier than that. But 12 pounds seems to handle absolutely anything. And also I've got some braid on there, which is 10-pound braid. All right, and that's put on with an FG knot. Now, if you're new to fishing, then it's pretty easy. You could put a swivel on there as well, so you could attach your braid to your leader with a swivel. That's not a problem at all. But yeah, I use an FG knot because then I can just clip it off and I can use this for all sorts of different things, flicking plastics around and stuff like that. Okay, what else do we need to know? Now, one of the main tricks of trawling a couple of rods is to ensure when you first put your line out the back as you're trawling along, make sure you go at least, I normally count to about 40 seconds and let the line go out, 30 to 40 seconds. And then the second rod, I will let it out for around about 20 seconds. So you've got one shorter than the other one. So when we're turning, what happens is the longer one will go over the top of the shorter one, and then when you straighten up, they'll come back together. If you put them out at the same size, at the same sort of length, you'll end up with them tangling up, so which is no good. All right, guys, so let's get out there. Let's go and chase a few fish, and then I'm going to show you how to cook them. Size fish, whatever he is. I'm just going to get this other one out the way. Pop him over here. I don't want to give this guy any too much line. Trevally. I think he's a golden trevally by the looks of him. He's fighting against that current. He's not huge, and they never give up, these guys, never give up. Yeah, golden trevally. Yeah, he fought quite hard actually, so we'll get him back in the water and let him fight again. Not great to eat, he's only a tiny one. You get a lot bigger than this, they get huge, absolutely huge in the river. Great fun, you can be fighting them for like 20 minutes. We'll get him back in the water. Beautiful. Away you go. Out here in Noosa, it doesn't take long. Pulling hard bodies is hands down the easiest way to catch a feeder flathead, especially if you're just starting out. No casting, no fancy gear, just drop it back and drive. Good one. Just hooked this one. Just hooked. Yes, nice, beautiful. It's another good one. And the hook's fallen out of him again. Okay, perfect. It is called a flathead, but it's actually not a flat fish. It's only got 2 fillets on it. So for all our overseas viewers, it's only got 2 fillets on this. Just make sure I don't bump into anything. Another interesting fact with these guys, once they get over around about 60 centimeters, we tend to put them back. The reason being is they're generally female. And most of these guys are males. Okay, so we're gonna get this guy. I'm gonna brain spike this guy, I'm gonna bleed it. I won't show you that, a bit graphic, but it's the best way to put them out there, misery, and also it eats much better. So I have like a little brain spike there, sort him out, and yeah, they're $78 a kilo. I was looking in Noosa the other day, so $78 a kilo. I couldn't believe it. And when I seen the actual flathead itself, it looked like it had been on the ice for about 4 days. So yeah, you can see why they're sought after. But most guys, anything over 60 centimeters, I've put so many fish back. You go onto my other channel, The Hook and the Cook, you'll see how many fish I put back. But I'm definitely after a feed today, so the wife will be happy. I've just changed it now to I'm doing a different one at the moment. Eh? Yeah, looks like there's a few trevally in there. The new one's called Real Bites Australia, but it's not up for a while yet. I'm just doing some filming. See you, boys. Perfect table fish, nice clean condition and caught with minimal effort. That's what it's all about. So if you can, get started, grab a rod, tie on a hard body and get trolling. It's the easiest way to build confidence and catch a few fish. After an epic morning on the Noosa River and landed a nice haul of flathead, it's time to pack up, head home and get stuck into the best part, cooking up fresh catch in the kitchen. Well guys, back in the kitchen now, and we're going to cook these flathead up. So let's get into it. I've got to take these fillets off, so I'll show you how to do that. Let me just show you a few little things you've got to be aware of. Now it's got some deadly spikes just here, right there. What I like to do is get a towel, cover the head, just flip her over, and I just go under this fin here. So we just go down the side, turn the knife like so, and we come along the backbone. Now what we've got here is just some pin bones, so just take your time, go through the pin bones, and then straight through. And then we've got a beautiful fillet. So we've got 1, 2 fins, come under that fin, go towards the head, making sure you really control your knife, don't go too hard, don't want to go through your hand, just straight down to the backbone. Then we're going to turn, try and keep the fillet straight. We're just going to click through the rib bones. The second fillet's always a little bit more difficult to do. And then straight along the tail. I've got a little bit of salt on my fingers here. If you're down the beach, I normally use a tiny bit of sand. I'm just going to peel back the skin here with my thumb. I use my knuckles like this, pull this way with my knuckles, okay? Making sure that I keep this meat on just on the side, the belly meat. Once we get past, okay, I should be able to just slowly take that skin off. So again, around that white skin is always difficult. So what you want to do is make sure you get that white skin going before you start with the knuckles, okay? And then it just comes straight off, no wastage. So now we've got the problem here, we've got a rig bone, and they are a little bit tricky. So they run sort of like this way down, and then they come in this side as well. So I just follow the line down, like so, just nice and slowly, which reveals those rib bones just here. Try not to clip the rib bone, and then it runs all the way down to here. So I'm just going to flip this over. So just wipe your knife, just make sure that you've got all the protein off. We're coming down here again. I'm just following them bones down. Always going this way with the bone, so we don't get any waste. I know you see the guys down the fish filleting markets do it super quick. There's no point in me doing it quick if you guys want to learn how to do it. Now, there's quite a bit of meat on there. What you can do, you can actually grab a spoon and you can scrape this meat off, and you can make fish cakes out of that, so you don't have any waste at all. And that's our skinless, boneless flathead fillet. Fish is filleted, so what I'm going to do now is wrap it with some pancetta. These are the ones that you probably, if you've got any kids in the house, I'd be giving them the tails, because you know there's definitely no bones in the tails. These can be done well in advance as well. So that's one. Now, if you don't want to do pancetta, you don't have to. You can just do the fish straight up, fried up, exactly how I'm going to do it. All right, guys, all glad wrapped, ready to go. Pop that in the fridge. Now it's time to start the pumpkin salad. So what I've got here is some diced pumpkin. It's a very simple salad. Let's not get too complicated with it. Butternut pumpkin, it's really nice. That's my favorite pumpkin. Into a bowl, got 3 cloves of garlic with the skin on. Doesn't matter whether the skin's on or off. Just bang to release any aromatics in there. Okay, throw it in. Bruise the rosemary. What I'll do is I'll just release all the perfumes in the rosemary. Now, olive oil goes in, not too much. Baking paper in a tray. Beautiful sea salt. Lots of black pepper, not too big, because they don't take too long. All right, they'll cook through evenly, and they'll probably take around about 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. All right, straight in the oven on 200 degrees. This is the butter sauce or butter emulsion. A little bit of a secret, this one actually. We don't tell too many people about this. It's a 5-to-2 ratio. So basically it's 5 of butter and 2 parts water, but we weigh the water. So this is really important or it won't work. So what I'm using at the moment is 250 grams of butter. So for 250 grams of butter, I need 100 grams of water. Okay, so that goes in. I've got 250 grams of really cold butter. We've got a quarter here that I've kept to the side. 3/4 I put straight into the water. Today we're going to be making a very simple champagne butter emulsion that's going to go over the fish. Nice, glosses the fish beautifully. Looks great on the plate. So that's looking good now. What I want to do now is just bring that up to the boil. With the bar mix, I'm going to start to add the butter. So what we're doing now is we're starting an emulsion. An emulsion basically is where 2 liquids don't normally bind together, but we're forcing them together with the bar mix. And what you're going to see now is you're going to start to see it starting to thicken up. The longer I do the bar mixing, the thicker it'll get, because what happens is the butter starts to cool down and it starts to thicken up. Okay, as you can see, look how beautiful that sauce is. Really, really nice. So light to go over the top of the fish. And it'll stay there for, you know, a good hour or 2. So you could make this sauce probably a good hour beforehand. Just leave it on the stove where it's nice and warm. You don't have to keep it too hot. And then you can make your reduction and straight over the top of the fish. Champagne reduction. So what I've got here is some champagne vinegar, and I've put in 1 teaspoon of champagne vinegar to 1 teaspoon approximately of water, because we're going to reduce that down. We've also got some white peppercorns here. Look, you can use black peppercorns, it's not a big deal, but I like to use white when I'm using sort of like a white sauce. If you wanted to do an Asian style, you could throw a little bit of star anise in there as well. A little bit of onion through it, just quickly. I'm actually going to sieve this out. So that's why I'm doing a little bit of a roughly chopped onion. Throw a little bit of fennel in there too, just to give it a bit of an aniseed flavour, not too much. I'm going to finish the sauce with some fennel throngs, or fennel tops. I love these fennel tops. You get them for free, which is great. I look at it as you get these bits for free. I never throw this away. It's the best. Better than buying a big bunch of dill when you can get these for nothing. I'll show you a really nice salmon dish with the fennel. Oh, comfy fennel is superb. Okay, so that's my reduction ready to rock and roll. I'm going to throw this in at the end. So I'm just going to reduce this down by 2/3. I'm going to pass it through a sieve. Got my reduction ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook our fish. We're just going in where the seal is. So I'm just going to pop that in first, just to seal that. I'm going to pinch 2 of these. I'm pinching the best bits, which is the tail. White fish, the longer we cook it, the more it's going to dry out. So just cook it so it's just opaque, and I'm going to let it rest in the pan. And what I'll do, it'll carry on cooking. The actual heat just keeps going through to the core, so it'll keep cooking. Now this is my presentation side, so I'm going to now just turn that heat up a little bit. If I turn the fish around there for you, you can actually see that it's just cooking, starting to become opaque just there. So I'm just going to leave it on this side now, and I'm going to let that carry on cooking so I get a nice presentation. This one's starting to cook up a little bit quicker, so I'll move that backwards. But if you can see how it's bouncing there, it's still a little bit raw, whereas that one's starting to firm up a bit. And I get a nice colour on it now as well. Now that's the sort of colour I'm looking for. I don't want it burnt. I've toasted some macadamia nuts. Basically everybody burns them. I've done it myself and they're expensive, so I'll just do them in the pan for now. I've got some cherry tomatoes here. Just going to throw some of these on the dish for a little bit of colour. I'm going to toss them in with the pumpkin, sort of like around about 5 minutes to go on the pumpkin. I don't want to put them in too early, they'll just go to mush. I'm just going to now turn that heat off completely, and what'll happen is residual heat will carry on cooking the fish. Okay, pumpkin salad's almost done. About time I throw a few tomatoes in there. I'm going to throw them all in because I'm just going to do a small portion for myself, and then I'll do the rest for the guys a little bit later on. So I'm just going to take some of my pumpkin and pop this in the middle of our plate. Not too much. Perfect. Just a base for our fish to sit on. So I get some nuts and put them in as well. Pop the fish on. Now we'll just make our sauce. So a couple of spoonfuls of our butter sauce, and then just a teaspoon of our reduction going in. Just heat that up, swirl it around. Then I'm going to add my fennel. Beautiful. Just bring it up to the boil, and then we're going to place that over the top of our fish. Might have a quick taste. Nice. Needs a bit of salt, just a touch of salt. A little bit more reduction. There we go. Beautiful. And it just goes onto the plate. But just first of all, just glaze your fish. Nice glaze over the top of the fish, and then just around the plate, like so. So there you go, flooded fillets with a champagne butter emulsion and a roasted pumpkin salad. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. Don't forget to tune in to Real Bites Australia next week, where we'll have something delicious. Hopefully we'll catch something really good. Cheers, guys. Join me next week as we head out on the beautiful Noosa River in search of a mighty mud crab. With a bit of luck, I'll catch one of these fresh from the traps, and then it's back to the kitchen to whip up a delicious mud crab linguine.